All right, so remember to come in with your intro after I get done with my smoking token.
Yeah, and I'll try not to sound like a clown this time. Hi, I'm Bobby Light.
I think it caught you off guard. You forgot you said you were going to say your name.
Did, and I was like, oh, shit. Hi, I'm Bobby Light. Lollipop.
Friends, countrymen, fellow degenerates, welcome to this week's episode of Bets and Buds. I am Jason Smoking Token.
Hey, I'm Bobby Light.
And welcome to this week's episode. We're at week 13. Week 13. Thanksgiving was not so kind. Not as kind as it has been the last couple of years, man. It was a little stingy. I didn't feel the Thanksgiving love this year.
My own team got me, Jason. My own team got me. I had the under. All they had to do was stop Washington there.
I feel you on that one, brother.
Pick six. I'm glad he set the record.
He set the record, but damn, I mean, it was killed my parlay. You know what the under killer is? Defensive and special teams touchdowns.
And they got us. They got us.
Yep. Shout out to True on the Track for giving us this beat to kick off the show here. Make sure you like and subscribe and add to the comment section here. Make sure you want to go and join that action because we're going to give you this hot parlay action coming up here this week because I got something real juicy for this primetime game. We finally got a good, hopefully good primetime game for this Thursday night. One of the best ones in a while. The Bengals Ravens was supposed to be a good one, but we lost Joey Burrow in the heat of that action there. So let's see what we got coming along this week. Bobby, what do you like on this Seattle-Dallas game?
I actually like Dallas to handle business at home this week. It's 8.5. I've got eight. Or what do you got, Jason?
8.5.
8.5. Yeah, 8.5. So I think Dallas covers that. No problem. They win at home, and I like the over in this game. I'm not getting screwed by a defensive touchdown again. Over's at 47.5. I like the over.
All right. So I actually had it at 46.5, but I'm on the opposite end of you. I do like the Cowboys to win this game, but I actually like Seattle to come out and play a strong game here. The Cowboys have been kind of coasting with a little bit of easy competition here.
They have.
Seattle needs to get back into action to stay competitive in that division. I don't think they're going to beat the Cowboys at home, but I do think they will cover at that 8.5 points, and I like the under at 46.5 on this one. Under at 46.5.
To me, that Seattle defense, I don't know. It can be suspect, and that offense can be real suspect.
Oh, yeah. Geno, you don't know what Geno you're going to deal with each week. So.
I would downgrade all of Seattle's wide receivers this week.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
For sure. Start him. You're starting Metcalf, obviously, without a doubt. But my fantasy player of the week this week is Gimme Cooks. He looked really good on Thanksgiving.
Yes, he did. That was his coming out party.
If Dallas really wants to be a contender, Cooks has got to be there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. All right, so I see it went back up to 47.5, so it keeps bouncing back and forth on FanDuel here. I do have a smoking token primetime parlay for this game here. I like Dak to rush over 12.5 yards. Tony Pollard to get a receiving over 19.5 yards receiving. Okay. I also like the Cowboys money line and Seattle to cover. And I had at +9 originally, but I'm going to go with that +8.5 that it's dropped down to because that's by the time I get there. Our cousins on the ill side, that's what it'll be going off at.
Further.
Yeah, it might even be down a little further. But that's going off right now at +854. +854.
Okay. I like that.
So I like that one. It's a good combination. There was a couple ones that I put together. That's the one I kind of settled on that I like the best.
I do like that.
All right, so that covers our Thursday night slate. So now we're going to move into the Sunday action here. So next up, we got the Chargers at the Patriots. All right, so I'm this is one of those right now.
Yeah, I don't know about this. This was like, ugh. I know New England's bad. Right?
The New England is really bad. They're offensively deficient. They don't know what they're going to do at quarterback right now. With that being said, I don't have much faith in Brandon Staley. They're going to New England, but the Patriots are just so inept offensively that I got 6 points for the Chargers to cover, hit that money line, and I like the under to go at 39.5
We're
on that
in
one.
agreement all the way across on this. I think the Chargers handle business in New England. New England's just dysfunction this year, and
there's not much else to say much about that one. Who do you like on fantasy?
I really didn't. I didn't even write anybody down in this game. I was struggling for this one actually, but if I had to take anybody in this game, it'd be Stevenson.
Yeah,
he's the only one on New England that's playing.
And the Chargers' rush defense is subpar. Definitely.
It is
definitely. All right, so that covers that game there. So we got the Cardinals at the Steelers. Up there in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh get a big win after they fired Matt Canada. First game in 3 years with over 400 yards of offense.
Yeah, and they didn't score a lot of touchdowns, but it was good.
Freiermuth had his game high, a career high.
It was good to see Pittsburgh move the ball.
Yes, absolutely.
So do you think they pull off the win?
You know what? I actually like Arizona to cover this one, just because Seattle. I mean, the Steelers aren't putting up a lot of points,
Right.
so I like the Arizona to cover. I have them at 5.5, being 5.5 dogs.
I like that.
I like the Steelers to win it at home, and I do like the over at 40.5.
Oh, you like the over?
Yeah, I do like the over at 40.5, just because you got Kyler Murray. He's kind of that wild card with that offense, man. He starts breaking loose, getting those legs going. You don't know exactly what you're going to get out of that.
Pittsburgh doesn't want to get in a shootout.
No, they definitely don't. They definitely don't.
But I like Arizona to cover in that one, Pittsburgh to win, but give me the under in that one.
Okay, you like the under?
Yep.
And I saw Director Dave said that's actually up at 41.5 now at FanDuel.
Okay.
So yeah, so either way, either one, I like the over on that one.
In this one, give me Najee Harris. He's going off at 5,200 points right now. They've got a good backfield mix going.
Oh, yeah, good 1-2 punch, him and Jalen Warren.
Yeah, him and Warren are working well together. Harris has scored 4 touchdowns in the last 5 games, so I think
he's
he
finding
keeps
the end
going.
zone. Yeah, he's definitely finding the end zone. All right, so next up, we got the red hot Denver Broncos.
Yeah.
Red hot Denver Broncos.
I called that one
at
last
the
week.
Houston Texans. All right, so Houston's coming off a tough win. That doinker field goal to tie the game late up against Jacksonville. That was a tough one. That was a tough one. Who do you like in this one, Bobby?
I actually think Denver carries the momentum into Houston. I've got them Denver at plus 3.5. So I'll take that 3.5. I think Denver goes into Houston and wins. And I like the under in this one. That Denver defense has been really tough.
It has been hot. It has been definitely hot. I picked them back up in both my fantasy leagues. Oh, yeah. But I'm on the opposite end of this one, though. I like to get back because C.J. Stroud has just showed me so much poise.
Oh, he's good.
He showed me so much poise. So I like the get back game for Houston here, down at home,
Okay.
covering that 3.5, giving the money line. But I also am with you. I like the under at 47.5.
All
I
right.
do like the under at 47.5. There's a lot of fantasy options in this one. Who do you like with this one, Bobby?
I like Sutton in this one, actually. I was looking over the whole thing. He's only going off at 5,400.
Oh, and he has been solid
Yeah,
all
he's
year.
been solid all season.
I mean, if Russell's going to go to anybody, it's been Sutton.
It's Sutton.
Yeah, it's
like
been
Judy's
solid.
been an afterthought. This
Oh,
year.
absolutely. Yeah, Sutton is the man. He is definitely the man. All right. So next up, we're going to move down onto the slate here. We got the Lions at the Saints. Lions with a disappointing loss last week, and they're one of the main ones who fucked me in my parlay.
that
The main ones on Thanksgiving who fucked me. Same old sorry Lions is what I said at the end of that day, man. I tried to jump in that train.
First game of the day, and it was like,
Oh, man.
that's how this is going to go.
Yeah, I should have known. That was the whole tone. And I even second-guessed myself when I put my little juice on the Lions. So I was like, man, do I really want to believe in the Lions on here on Thanksgiving Day with their history on the record there? But
So do we think the Lions get the bounce back this week?
the Saints offense is so the fans are crying for Jameis to come. They're asking for famous Jameis to come back. Oh my God! So just the fact of that's right there.
And they could potentially be without all 3 top wide receivers.
Oh gosh, yes. It's just ugly right there in New Orleans at this moment. So I like the Lions to get back at 4.5. They're 4.5 point favorites. I like them to win. Obviously, cover the money line, cover the spread, hit the money line, and I like the under at 45.5.
Yeah, you like the under in this one?
Yeah, I like the
the
under.
over in this one. I think the Lions will put up some points.
I
And
just
their
don't have any-
defense is just so terrible. that New Orleans is bound to put up at least 14.
That offense is so horrible,
It's pretty
man.
bad.
Derek
It's
Carr
pretty
has looked bad. He has looked really bad.
$150 million mistake.
Oh my gosh! I mean, he just looks really bad. He looks so bad. Just the fact that they're asking for Jameis Winston to come
Right, they're
back,
coming
start
to throw
eating
some-
dubs and all that other shit. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to think about New Orleans right now, man. I don't know. Who do you like fantasy wise, though, Bobby?
I like Johnson, the tight end for the Saints, and if they're going to be without their wide receivers, they can't throw the ball to Taysom Hill all the time.
No,
So.
no, they
Or
can't.
Kamara.
Yeah, I mean, Taysom. It might be a Taysom day though. It might be when he's in the backfield 1 minute, he's
Very
slinging
well could
passes.
be.
I mean, who
But
knows?
give me Johnson. He's going off at 3,400.
Might catch a pet touchdown pass from Taysom. You never know.
Yeah, he very well could.
Very easily so. All right. So that covers that slate there, that part of this schedule there. So next up, we got the Falcons at the Jets. Falcons at the lowly Jets with Tim Boyle, who looked like dog shit.
Yeah, he did
The,
not
fir-
look
the
good.
first ever Hail Mary pick six to the house. I mean, first ever Hail
Yeah,
Mary.
but can you blame that on him?
The dude threw the ball from the 50-yard line, and it didn't even reach the goal line, Bobby.
that is-
Like Holland caught that ball on the 1-yard line, man. I mean, just the fact that you didn't even get that into the end zone, that's a problem for me.
Okay,
That's
so
a
I know
problem.
where you're going this week.
You'd be surprised. You
Okay.
would be surprised.
Well, are the Jets changing quarterback? Because if they are, I have not heard.
No, I think they're going to probably stick with Tim Boyle this week. I don't see how they go back to Zach Wilson at this stage because, I mean, he wasn't even active, I don't think, for this last game. I think they had I can't remember who the backup was, but I know it wasn't Zach Wilson this last game. He wasn't even active. So I actually like the Jets to win this game.
Okay.
And to cover.
I do too.
And the reason for that is Desmond Ridder is not good on the road.
Oh, he sucks.
And that defense is so good for the Jets, and I just think it's going to be they're going to have a tough sledding.
Okay.
As long as the Jets shut that run game down for the Falcons, I just don't see how they're going to do anything on offense. So I actually like the Jets to cover that 3 points, the 3-point dogs, win at home, and then I like the over at 34 just because that point total is so low.
So we're in total agreement all the way across the board on that.
All right. I like the sounds of that.
So if Atlanta is to get it done, it's going to be Robinson and fantasy this week.
Okay.
It's going to be Robinson.
Has to be.
Because surprisingly, the Jets give up the 12th most points to running backs as far as fantasy.
Yeah, that was a surprise.
I mean, they don't give up a lot of touchdowns or a lot of points, but they give up a lot of yardage.
Yeah, a lot more yards than what you would think by the Jets defense. So absolutely, I like that pick. All right, so the next up down on the slate, we've got the Colts at the Titans. Colts in Tennessee. I got the Colts are favored by 1.5. Who do you like in this one, Bobby?
I like the Colts in this one. Actually, they can continue to surprise me week after week. I mean,
Gardner Minshew's getting it done, baby. Minshew magic.
Taylor looked really good. I know he got the thumb injury, but Moss was excellent while he was out anyway. So I don't see him missing a beat here.
And Tennessee's just treading water right now at this point.
They did win last week, but it was against Carolina.
Yeah, it was against Carolina,
and
which,
it was
what does that matter?
7-point win.
Yeah, which is, I mean, and it wasn't anything to write home about. So I'm with you on that one. I like the Colts to cover that 1.5, hit the money line. I like the over at the 42.5 points.
I like the over as well.
So all right, so that's two back-to-back that we're in total agreement on.
And it's Zach Moss this week. $4,600. He's going to be the main man in Indianapolis.
Oh, yeah.
And I believe the last time they met, and I think it was week 4, he went off for 161 yards.
Oh yeah. He's looked solid this year. He's looked better than I've seen him look in his entire career up to this point. So I like that pick. All right, so next up we've got the Miami Dolphins at the Washington Commanders. Miami Dolphins at the Washington Commanders. All right. So I'm going to dive right into this. There's really not a whole lot for me, in my opinion, to talk about in this game. The Dolphins are 9.5-point favorites. I believe they're going to cover that and obviously win on the road. I like the under at 49.5 just because there's a lot of points there. I don't see Washington doing their end of helping get that hitting that over on that end. So that's where I look at from that game's aspect. So
we are in total agreement.
All right, that's 3 in a row, brother.
I got the 9. I've got it at 9.
Okay.
But obviously Miami on the money, and I've got the over-under at 50. Give me that under, so all day long. And Curtis Samuel this week. He continues to look really good each week.
And he's one of those slot guys that, I mean, he's going to do his damage because you got Jalen Ramsey and Xavier Howard covering the outside.
Dotson hasn't done much of anything this year, but $4,100.
Oh, yeah, that's a good buy. That's a great bargain buy. Great bargain buy. All right. Speaking of those Carolina Panthers who just fired their coach, Frank Wright, going down to play those Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We got a new coach down there. Chris Tabor is taking over.
Division game, too.
Yeah, division game. And you know how I feel about those fired coaches, man. When teams fire a coach, if you go back and look at the record, it's a very high record. I love the director Dave to look at those stats on the record for when we see that any coach gets fired, what the team's record is coming out after that. So for me in this game, I got the 5.5-point dogs for the Carolina. Yep. I like Carolina to cover this game.
I do.
I don't see them winning in Tampa Bay, but I like seeing them cover that 5.5 points. They're gonna Tampa Bay is going to win, and I like the under at 36.5 points, just because both teams seem to be pretty offensively inept.
Okay, you like the under. I give me the over in this one, just because if they're bad defensively too. So.
Right.
So good. We agree on everything else. Just give me the over.
All right. So then, who do you like on fantasy for this one, Bobby?
I like the way Rashad White's been playing.
He's been playing. He's a
little pricey this week, $6,300, but coming out of this game, it's probably your best.
Yeah, that's probably your best buy.
Mike Evans costs you a little more than that. So.
Yeah, he's been your best buy, and you haven't got a lot out of Chris Godwin this year either, too. So I like that as a good pick, good solid value pick. All right, so next up, we got probably what's going to be the game of the week here. If we got into the flex part of the schedule, this game probably would have gotten flex. But we got 49ers at the Eagles. 49ers at the Eagles at an NFC Championship rematch.
I really thought about this one hard today.
Yeah, this is a juicy one here.
So I have the Eagles getting 2.5 points at home.
So do I.
So, I mean, give me the Eagles all day to cover that 2.5 points. I think they win at home, and I like the under.
Okay. All right, so for me, I'm on the opposite end of the slate on that completely. I like the Niners to get that they cover at 2.5-point favorites. Okay. Here's my logic behind that. The Niners played on Thanksgiving night, so they're a little bit more rested. They're a little bit ready to go, and they got a shit ton of piss and vinegar because they were not over that game because they felt like the only reason why they had that game because they did have a quarterback that could throw a forward pass past the second half.
That is true.
So that
is true.
And I mean, what's his name? Nick Bosa got hurt in that game. Fred Warner got hurt in that game. There was a lot of things that kind of went against the Niners to where they felt like they should have won that game last year. So they've kind of had that sitting on them this entire time. So I think they're coming with their lunch boxes ready to go and put in some work. Absolutely. So I like the Niners to go ahead and hit that, cover that new 2.5 points, hit the money line, and I like the over at 46.5.
Okay. This is the first one we are in total.
Yeah, that's the first one this week.
Philly all day, 49ers all day.
You know what? It's one of those. Any way you can go matchups.
It's going to be a good game.
Yeah, wherever the ball bounces, basically whoever makes the most mistakes, pretty much, is going to end up winning that game.
I was looking at Philadelphia's running backs today. Swift hasn't been getting it done lately. Give me Gainwell at 4,500.
Okay,
I think he can slip in a touchdown.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, this is definitely be a game where Gainwell will slide in there, get a touchdown, a couple catches out of the backfield. Absolutely. All right, so now we're going to move up into the Sunday. Into the Sunday day slate. Into the Sunday, we got the Browns at the Rams. Rams
looked really good last week.
Yes, they did.
Really good.
I didn't expect them to put it on the Cardinals like they did. They definitely put it on them pretty well. So that means Matthew Stafford's probably back fully healthy now at this point.
He looked good.
And then also got to look and check that injury report to see what where Myles Garrett is at. And I know he left the game with an injury last week too as well. So got to kind of look at that and make sure you watch that at close to kickoff time. Who do you like
who's going to start for Cleveland? Who's their quarterback? Did Robinson go into concussion protocol?
They might be bringing up Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco off the practice squad, man.
I'd like the Rams to cover in this one at home. Obviously win. And give me the under.
Yeah. Actually, we're in total agreement on that one. I like the Rams. They had them at 3.5. They're 3.5-point favorites, like to hit the money line. And the under is at 39.5. That's what I had them at.
I got it at 40. But...
Yeah, about the same difference. So either way, even if it was at 40, I would take that under there too as well. So we're in total agreement on that one there as well. All right, who do you like fantasy for this one, Bobby?
Njoku. Actually, the Rams are really terrible against the tight end this year. So Njoku's got a chance to do some damage.
Yeah, and any quarterback they're going to play, they're going to need that security blanket of the tight end. Absolutely. All right, so now we're going up to the Sunday night game. We got the Chiefs at the Packers.
This could actually be a surprising game.
It could be. It very well could be because Jordan Love looked good last week. Was it a byproduct of the Lions? Was it a byproduct? Because, the Lions turned the ball over a lot in that game and provided a lot of opportunities. 3
really good games in a row where he's been, as far as fantasy-wise goes, he's been over 22 points or better.
Right.
That's solid.
So I had the Lions, I got them at 6 points. I mean, the Chiefs at 6 points. I had the Chiefs at 6 points. So for me, I actually like the Chiefs to win. They've actually been very good against the spread. They've been very good against the spread this year. So for me, I like the Chiefs to cover that 6 points and actually hit that money line. And I like the over at 42.5.
Okay, yeah, we're in agreement on
total
this
agreement
one
on that one too. So all right, we got to check that record and see when we're in total agreement how well that usually does. So
that's 6 of them.
That's 6 of them this week. Well, we're starting to kind of figure out who is who and what is what with the teams now.
It really is.
You got a lot clearer picture of what's going on there. Who do you like in the fantasy for this one, Bobby?
I like Pacheco in this one. He's been turning it on lately.
Yes, he has.
Finally did something that the Chiefs haven't seen in a while. He was like running up in them holes last week.
Yeah.
He was taking it to it. So 6,500, a little pricey, but give me Pacheco.
Well, when you got a team that leads the league in drops, man, you got to figure this motherfucker's not gonna drop the ball if I just hand it right to him.
They were hitting him out of the backfield with short passes, and if he can get it, he's a speedster, so he turns it upfield.
Oh yeah, he just runs so hard that once he gets it, he's gone. He is going. So, all right, the last game of this week here. We kind of flew through the schedule here. The last game of this week, we got the Bengals at the Jaguars.
Yeah, this one could be a real stinker.
Yeah, it could be. But for some reason, the Jaguars have been a tough team to figure out this year. They're undefeated on the road.
Right.
But they have not looked good at home at all. I mean,
they're 5-0 on the road now.
Yeah, 5-0 on the road. I think what is it like 2-3 at home or something like that. It's something weird. I mean, it's just weird. And even Trevor Lawrence looks like a totally different quarterback at home for some reason. I don't know what that is. Maybe it's some domestic stuff at home. He likes to be on the road away from the wife. Who gives? I don't know, man. But I got the Bengals at 8.5 dogs here. Bengals at 8.5 dogs. Now, with that being said, with the way Jacksonville has played at home, the Bengals have a good defense. I like the Bengals to cover that 8.5. I like for them to cover that 8.5. I do. I don't know how they're going to do it. I don't know what way they're going to find out how to do it. We'll see what happens with was it Browning?
Browning.
Yeah, we'll see what happens there.
I mean, he wasn't god awful.
He wasn't. I mean, he wasn't awful, but I mean,
definitely not Joe Burrow.
No, definitely not Joe Burrow. But I like somehow to feel like the Bengals are going to find a way to cover that game. I think Jacksonville will still get the win, and I like the over at 38.5.
All right, we just disagree. I think Jacksonville covers at home. I just don't think Cincinnati's got enough with Browning, and like Jamar Chase, unless he just has a Jamar Chase game.
I've just gotten burned by Jacksonville twice at home now, so I said, you know what, fuck off. I'm not going with you at home anymore until you prove me different. All right, so who do you like fantasy-wise in this one?
Christian Kirk at $5,800.
All right, that's a good solid one. You never know which way.
He's been solid lately. He hasn't done anything spectacular, but he's solid for $5,800 if you're looking for a cheap wide receiver. Somebody to slide into a flex spot.
Yeah, like I said, it's you never know what you're going to get with the Jacksonville receivers and which way Trevor Lawrence is going to be looking and what's going to open up as far as schematically wise for the offense. Right. All right, so that covers the slate. We kind of flew through that one, brother.
Yeah, there was only 13 games this week.
Yeah, we flew through that one pretty quickly. So we're getting towards the end of the buys.
It's really weird the way they did the schedule this year, because you got 6 teams off this week, but only 2 next week.
Well, we're still getting used to that 17-game schedule, so that's kind of a little bit of a like what the hell we're doing right there. So, I mean, some people are getting that way early, some people are getting that way late. It'll be kind of interesting to see who that plays in
Baltimore's favor this year.
Oh, yeah.
Way late.
Big time. Absolutely. All right, so that was this week's episode, Week 13. Make sure you go and like and subscribe, add to the comment section. It's been a blast riding with you guys.
Hell yeah.
Been a fun time, brother. Fun time. Let's see how we doing this week. We got a lot of same game lines all the way around.
I had a monster week last week, 68%.
Bobby Light's been tearing it up, brother. He's been tearing it. I've been hovering right around my 50, a little bit over 50%. So I think you're at 56 for the season, maybe about 55.
I took the lead, and I ain't looking back.
All right. Well, I'm going to try to keep coming, baby. I'm going to try to keep coming.
Good shit.
It's been a blast, baby. It's been a blast. Make sure you tune in next week. Peace.